Hey guys, so if you clicked on this video, it's because you want to know how to contour a fat face. Well, my fat face. Here's my double chin. Cute. So first thing you're going to do is you're actually going to highlight your face. And this is very important because you always want to start with the light products first and then go back in with the dark. So I'm going to highlight the high points of my face. We're going to brighten the under eye, brighten the bridge of my nose, my forehead, and my chin. And I'm just going to take my damp beauty blender and I'm actually just going to do light dabbing motions and I'm going to blend this out completely before moving on to the contour. Now moving on to the part you showed up for, the contouring. So I'm going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Stick in the shade Fawn. This is my favorite shade of contour and my favorite tool. I love it in stick form. It just makes it so much easier for application. So I'm basically going into the hollows of my cheeks and making two giant C's that face each other on my face. So if you're having a hard time finding the hollows of your cheek, just make the fishy face and you'll know exactly where to pull the product. I am now going to go in underneath my bottom lip just to make my bottom lip appear a little larger. And then I'm going to go down my nose and I'm going to make two little lines at the tip just to kind of shorten it up and make my nose a little cuter. And now for the most important part, those double chins. I'm going to take the contour stick and I'm going to line my jawline with it. And then I'm basically going to tilt my head back and I'm going to make a nice U shape right where my double chin tends to kind of, you know what I'm talking about. So we're going to fill everything in and just make sure you use enough product. And this is why it's so important to use the correct contouring shade, because if I were to use something that was, say, a couple shades darker, it would look so muddy and there would just be way too much contrast between my skin color and the contour color. So when this blends out, it basically just makes a nice halo of color to where it's slightly shadowed, because later on you'll see what I do when I'm actually going back in to set everything. But this stuff blends out so beautifully, and I'm going to take small dabbing motions. It's the same damp beauty blender that I'm using, and I'm just doing dab, 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 basically all over my face. Anywhere that I put a line. Now the only spot, this is the exception, my double chin. Basically what I do here is I do dabs and dragging motions, and it's because I use so much product underneath, but I really want the underneath to be shadowed, and if you don't use enough product, to me, it doesn't look shadowed enough. So it's important to me to put a lot, so I use a pretty damp beauty blender at this point, and I will dab and drag it all the way down my neck. And then when I go back to my nose, small tiny dabbing motions. And the nose is a little different because the nose, I actually don't want to blend away the contour 100% because I do want to see some of the structure there, versus everywhere else I really want it to be very smooth and kind of flawless looking where you can't tell where I put everything. But the nose, I do like to be able to see a little bit of my contour still visible. Now I'm just kind of blending away anything else that needs to be done, which is the hairline. It's the last place that I blend, just because I will either dab and pull into the hairline, or if I feel like I want it to go a little lower, I will dab, pull up into the hairline, and then pull it down into my face area. Right now I'm highlighting my jawline. Now I did not highlight here at the beginning, and it's because this is where I like to clean up my contour. So putting this nice clean white line, and it's just because I'm white, so I'm using white. Whatever your skin color is, this is where you're going to go in with your concealer shade, and it's just really going to brighten up that jawline, which will give way more definition to your contour. So you can already see that on my jaw, you can see how shadowed it is and how bright the underneath is. So you really are starting to kind of see the structure of my face, which is what I want to see. So now I'm going to grab the Laura Mercier translucent powder, which if you've watched any of my other videos, you know that I use this in the contour stick like religiously. So I'm going to take my damp beauty blender and I'm going to dip into that, and I'm going to press wherever I highlighted with the concealer that I used, and this is just to kind of blur out any imperfections like fine lines and pores. That's why I use it with a damp beauty blender for right now. I usually use a brush, but because I'm having some problems with my skin, we're going in with a damp beauty blender. And I am placing this lightly over where I did contour because I do want this translucent powder to kind of slightly coat my face where the contour is, just to make blending easier when I go in with my bronzer, which now is the Too Faced chocolate bronzer in shade Deep, and this I'm just really liking it because it's a nice warm tone. So I'm going over exactly where I put the Fawn contour stick, and I'm putting this chocolate bronzer over it, and this is just going to deepen and enhance the contour that I've already placed, which this step is really important because basically what it's doing is it's setting the contour that you just put down with the cream contour stick, which is the same concept of you setting your foundation. We are now setting our contour. Now on to blush, and we are taking the MAC I'm a Lover blush, which is a beautiful, almost violet toned blush, one of my favorites to use. And we're basically just going to place this on the apples of our cheeks and kind of blend backwards. Moving on to highlight, I am going to take the Kat Von D Alchemist holographic palette, and from this palette I'm going to be using the shade Opal, which is their pink shade of highlight, and I'm going to be taking this with Fix Plus on a highlighting brush by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I'm going to spray the brush and then dip into the opal color, and I'm going to apply this to the high points of my cheek. To me, this is very important. You basically set your contour with your bronzer, and now you're going to highlight your highlight with the concealer. You are now highlighting with the powder. This is going to bring attention to all high points that you were basically trying to brighten up with concealer. It's going to help the skin look a lot smoother, brighter, more attractive, and it definitely helps with the camouflaging because you're focused on my highlight, but you're not focused on my double chin. Get what I'm saying? Now I'm just applying this to my nose and the bridge of my nose, the Cupid's bow, everywhere. Basically, I'm drowning my face in this, and this is one of my favorite highlights ever to use, is the Alchemist palette. Next, I'm going to be, yes, Sierra, smile for them. Now I'm going to be using the same opal shade with a smaller brush. I'm just applying this to the inner corner just to kind of brighten up my eye look that I chose to do today, which has nothing to do with contouring. You do not have to highlight the inner corner. I just wanted to do it. And we are done. Hold on, let me go get dressed.
I see the sunrise creeping in. We don't talk anymore. We don't talk anymore. We don't talk anymore like we used to do.
Alright, you guys, that's it for this video. I really hope it helped some of you. Don't forget to hit that like button if you want more videos like this. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!